Hi everyone, welcome back to CIC Talks. In today's video, I am going to talk about a very recent Q card topic. Describe a businessman that you admire. In this Q card, you are supposed to talk about an industrialist whom you idolize. But before we move any further, I request you to please watch this video till the end, and if you like our content, please hit the like and subscribe button. So without wasting any more time, let's get started. So in this cue card, you will be asked to speak about an industrialist who you think is an idol. You should say who this person is. Like here we'll talk about Mr. Ratan Tata. How do you know this person? I have met him during a community outreach program at my company, or you could even say that I have seen him in a news broadcast or a news event. And the third one is what kind of business this person does. Like we all know what Mr. Ratan Tata is currently doing. So we have to list down his current portfolio of businesses that he was involved in the past and is presently involved into. And why do you admire this human being? Here we have to list down his personal traits, his qualities that makes him an admirable human being. So let's begin with the introduction first. Most of the startup enthusiasts like me grow up idolizing business tycoons and entrepreneurs such as Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey, Elon Musk, Anil Ambani, etc. So the first is who this person is. But here I would like to talk about Mr. Ratan Tata, the present chairman emeritus of Tata Sons, the philanthropist and son of Mr. Jamshedji Tata. Born in the Tata family, he understood the work ethics and importance of hard work early in his life. He never took his wealth for granted and still works actively at the age of 75. Sir Ratan Tata dedicated his life to the betterment of society and took the Tata group of companies to new heights. So, how do you know this person? Like last year, I had an opportunity to meet him under my company's community outreach program. And then, out of curiosity, I started reading his biography. He is the most humble and down to earth human being I have ever met. I consider myself so fortunate to having met such a great personality. So, what kind of business this person does? Mr. Ratan Tata was the chairman of major Tata companies, which includes Tata Motors, Tata Steel, Tata Consultancy Services, Tata Power, Tata Global Beverages, Tata Chemicals, Indian Hotels, and Tata Teleservices. He has also been associated with various charity organizations in India and overseas. And also, Mr. Ratan Tata is on the international advisory boards of Mitsubishi Corporation and JP Morgan Chase. So, now the last one is why do you admire this person? Well, there are plenty of reasons to admire Mr. Ratan Tata. Like, firstly, he is the recipient of two of the highest civilian awards of India, the Padam Vibhushan and the Padam Bhushan. This makes him the most decorated, most glorious Indian industrialist. Secondly, how could we forget Tata Nano and Tata Indica? Like it was under his leadership that Tata Indica became such a huge success. It became first made in India car, and Tata Nano became the most affordable car. And last but not the least, Ratan Tata has never made it into the list of world's richest man despite owning a $1 billion company. This is because more than 60% of his wealth goes directly into charity. So you could imagine the kind of income that he is already donating for the goodwill of humanity. So this all things makes him the most admirable human being according to me. So in conclusion, like in the end, I would just like to tell you that Mr. Ratan Tata is the epitome of business ethics, and nobody else can take his place like ever. So this is all about the cue card, and now next coming up are follow-ups. So the first follow-up is what do you think should be the retirement age for men and women? In a quest to live a better than average life, it's logical to conclude that ideal retirement age should be somewhere around 60 to 65 years for both men and women. By that time, you are old enough to have built up a nice financial reserve and young enough to enjoy your job free years. What qualities do people need to run their own business? I think the prime quality is financial literacy. Why? Because ultimately, the success of any business depends upon how financially sound you are and whether you can understand the mathematical, the financial algorithms or not. Besides that, people need to have risk-taking qualities, and they must be able to effectively take charge of the whole business activity. In short, they should act as a leader and not just as a follower. What do you think are the key factors that contribute to the success of a business? I think there are a number of driving forces behind the success of a business. For instance, a successful hotel needs a good location, a good quality service, and a delicious food more than anything else. Well, generally, if the business is tapping onto the consumer minds, the success will eventually follow. The success is kind of inevitable. If you had the opportunity to open your own business, what would it be and why? Well, that's an interesting question because if I had the opportunity to become a business mogul, then I would definitely pick men's apparel business. Simply because starting a clothing line was always my dreams. I have worked with few French clothing brands in the past in the domain of social media marketing, so I have quite a bit of information about this industry. So that's all about the cue card and the follow-ups today. I hope you like the content, and if you find it really informative, please consider subscribing and sharing to this video. And see you soon. Goodbye. Take care.
It's not a game, it's a rich thing.